Here we go.
Hello and welcome to Set Talks, the podcast that helps you navigate and connect with the Colorado film scene. I'm your host, Nick Fiorella. Today's guest is Becky Donnelly. I said that correctly, right?
You did.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. She's a professional makeup artist in the world of film and television. She's worked on an impressive range of projects, from high-end fashion shoots to feature films. Today, we'll dive into Becky's experience, what it takes to work as a professional makeup artist, and what the Colorado film industry looks like for makeup artists looking to build a successful career in Colorado. Becky, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, totally. And for Halloween.
I know, it's fitting.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm stoked to chat with you.
Yeah.
I've been into makeup just like on a Halloween and like short film level since I was a kid.
I love it.
I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite?
Favorite makeup
film? Yeah.
Oh, as far as that would incorporate makeup stuff? I mean, I don't know. I guess I should pick something horror, but my mind immediately goes to like Lord of the Rings and like.
No, that's great too. Yeah.
How about you?
Oh gosh. In recent years, The Substance.
Totally.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like
I loved that movie.
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
fantastic. Excellent. Yeah. What a dream project.
Oh, for sure. And they must have had so much fun.
Yeah.
I watched the behind the scenes. Do you remember the director's name? She was this French woman.
Oh gosh.
It was so funny to hear her the behind the scenes. She was like so passionate and like about like all the little shots and a lot of it was shot in studio without the actors. Like every shot was storyboarded, so it's like they were able to just, I think after the shooting was done, basically spend a month doing all of those inserts and stuff that were like the gross kind of, you know.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah, good planning on her part.
Yeah, seriously, yeah.
Sure. But well, how's your week going? You're always, from what I can tell on Instagram, it seems like you're busy constantly.
I've been busy, which I'm so grateful for. Yeah, it's just been back to back. I day played on a feature up in Montana. It was a werewolf western.
Really?
So all overnight. So that was kind of wild. And then right back into the commercial scene here. So it's kind of been nonstop. I'm back at it tomorrow. It's my one day off.
So well, thank you for doing this. This worked out then. Did you do a werewolf makeup or was it more blood type stuff, or were you the single-handed makeup artist?
Oh, no. I was day playing and I was filling in for another artist under the direction of Melissa O'Terry. She's amazing. I've worked with her in Colorado, but I was assisting her and then special effects. So I did paint werewolves, but it was under someone's direction. So
That's cool.
It was really cool.
Did they have some pretty intense like prosthetics and stuff prepared?
Yeah. It was all prosthetics, which in this particular project, I did not partake in at all. I really just painted, but they had a really great team. Another artist, Carly, she's based in LA. She's a phenomenal prosthetic artist. So they had quite a crew up there. I'm really excited I got to be a part of it. So that's
cool.
Wild. Hard to come back from overnights though.
Oh, is that right?
Like,
Yeah.
Where am I?
That's cool. Yeah.
Every
werewolf movie, the look and if there's a transformation, right? It's like, you know, such a key element to the movie where it's like, you know, the approach to that stuff. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. So,
hell yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, like just to start, I'd like to just talk about some, you know, your background kind of getting into makeup and, you know, what kind of got you into it and ultimately then getting into like movie makeup and that sort of thing. I don't know if you were really into Halloween growing up or what, but like ultimately where it kind of core started and then, you know, kind of getting into it professionally. I don't know if you had a first few projects that got you going. And
Yeah, definitely. I did always love Halloween, but I kind of got into makeup on accident. Growing up, I didn't really play with it too much. I was kind of playing outside, I was a tomboy growing up, so it's kind of random. It was high school. I have a vivid memory of, to set the scene, this is like circa 2011, my senior prom. Smoky eyes were the thing. We matched, like, if this were back then, I would wear like green eyeshadow. It was that kind of vibe. And my stepmom brought me to a MAC counter, and the MAC artist showed me how to do this navy blue, black and gold smoky eye. we bought all the products, and then I recreated the look for prom. And it's funny because looking back, like aside from the horrific spray tan, the makeup itself was actually pretty good. And I think that was the first time I realized I might actually have a talent here. And then I started playing with it more. And yeah, and as far as movies go, those are kind of two separate answers, but I've always loved movies. And as a kid, I think I wanted to be an actress.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's actually in my 6th grade yearbook. So
Nice.
I loved movies. I wanted to work in movies. So that was always a goal. So then fast forward to, I went to esthetician school. And in Colorado, you need to have a license to do hair and makeup. And so I was in that process. We had a 6-week makeup course. And one day of the 6 weeks, we covered film and TV. And we had somebody who was actively working in the scene come and do a demo and chat with us. And I was like, yeah, I want to do that.
Okay, yeah.
So it kind of all started coming together there. And as far as first getting into film, my now ex-husband is a film director. And he, at the time, was working on music videos. And he started bringing me onto his sets. And I learned how to be on a film set, and it just kind of further validated my love for it and desire to do it. So yeah, and then a bunch more fast forwards.
Sure.
Here we are.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I guess beauty makeup, is that, I don't know if that's the right term, but like that's kind of what you got into specifically to begin with, is it, what would the word?
I know, it's
like natural makeup versus like monster makeup.
They technically call it beauty makeup, which
okay.
I mean doesn't super make sense, but yeah, it's technically considered beauty makeup. So I very first started in the professional realm in like a lot of makeup artists in Colorado in the wedding scene, and it's hard to break into film. I didn't quite know how to do it, so I started in like bridal and event makeup.
Sure.
Didn't get into special effects until I was interested in it. I would play with it on, myself. I would do cuts and stuff like that and bruises, but I didn't really start doing it professionally and actually get paid to do it until the last 5 years.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's
that was
cool.
always what I wanted to do. It was just like, how do I do this?
Sure.
Yeah.
My wife and I've seen, I think, every episode of like RuPaul's Drag Race.
Love. I actually I've done drag makeup for some shows. Yeah, fun fact, but anyway.
Yeah, which is like,
So
I find
cool.
it to be fascinating and cool, and
wild.
that show's super entertaining. But like the transformations
it's
with
unreal.
that kind of makeup are crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unreal.
On some of them, it's really crazy where it's like, oh, it's like this kind of dorky guy or whatever.
Yeah,
and then
all
he
of a
transforms
sudden,
into this glamorous,
I love makeup. It's so fascinating what you can do.
Sure. Well, yeah, I was going to ask you about just like education and stuff, but I think we kind of covered it. But as far as like projects that you got involved with, was like, there a certain project that you kind of found your stride? I mean, I'm sure it's different on every project, but like, and also like the kind of avenue into it. I mean, like you said, weddings and stuff, but like, is it also about kind of forming relationships with maybe like ad agencies? Because you do a lot of commercial work. Like, I'd be just curious to know the kind of networking involved with making those projects happen. And
yeah, I mean, let's see. I think there's a couple questions in there.
Yeah. Well,
hold on.
Was there a certain project that you kind of really
first.
like?
Okay.
I guess
have ADHD.
No, you're good. Yeah, I'm sure I do too. But was there a certain project that kind of was the first one that you were like, okay, I feel like I could really do this professionally?
Yes. I'm sure if you talk to me in 2 years, my answer will be different. But I feel like it really started, I guess, happening for me. I've been doing this in some capacity for the last 13 years.
Wow. Not
full time though. I always did something else. And I think part of it was being scared to jump into the freelance realm. But really the project that, and I know we're going to talk about it, but the big one was Welcome to the Fishbowl.
Yeah.
And I'd kind of been, putting pieces in place and networking, going to networking events, utilizing social media. That's been a massive part of how I've I guess built up my business and gotten to the busy place that I'm at is by utilizing social media. And so I started making connections, and she's one of my best friends now, Michelle Noble. She is a hair and makeup artist in Denver here as well. Her and I worked together. I assisted her on it was my first big commercial, first big national campaign. And her and I we had a really great flow. And then she was attached to Welcome to the Fishbowl before I was.
Okay.
Under the direction, we have a department head, Steffi Lane, and Michelle put my name out there and, hey, you should call Becky. I think she might be good for this. I had never done a feature, and I had an interview with Steffi, and we all just kind of just clicked, and they took a chance on me there, and I didn't tell anyone aside from my team that it was my first feature. But that was the project that felt like, all of the work and all of the things I'd been trying and everything I wanted was happening, and that project quite literally changed my life. So that's awesome. That's the one for me for sure.
Oh, cool. And we had Yana and Cheryl on here.
Yeah, I saw that. They're
to
so
talk
great.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I mean, on that note, can you talk about kind of, ultimately what the execution for that was in particular, like as far as like doing makeup on people, and was there anything that, like, I don't know, maybe Cheryl, like what was that kind of conversation like, if at all, about like, kind of what she was trying to achieve with the looks? I don't know if they kind of through makeup were able to kind of lean, without giving anything away about the film, lean into certain elements that, that you could really make work with the character through the makeup, creatively, like working with Cheryl and whatnot. Yeah.
So, and for this particular project, that the creative direction was really our department head, Steffi Lane. And so Michelle was the key hair stylist. I was the key makeup artist. And so we executed the looks that Steffi and Cheryl designed together. I don't know how much the answer is yes. There was things that we did with makeup that played into the characters, but you probably just have to wait and see the movie.
Sure. No worries.
And it'll be very blatantly obvious what I'm talking about. But yeah, I think there's certain subtleties with makeup. One of the things I love about it, I really utilize, let me be careful how I say this because it might sound really weird, but I think eyes say a lot about a character. And one of my favorite things to do when I'm helping tell a story, this is specifically in a narrative realm, not commercial, but is just little subtleties to the eyes. Even at, like, maybe this is very simple, but maybe somebody's tired. Yeah. And I mean, you can act tired, right? But if I maybe just darken the eyes a little bit, or maybe they're stressed, so I make them look sweaty. Like, these are very basic examples, but there's a lot of subtleties that you can do to help tell the story and keep the story moving with makeup.
For sure. Yeah. My wife, actually, her aunt is sweat specialist.
That's so funny.
In Miami.
That's awesome.
Where they have these crazy large crews. I mean, similar to what you guys had, I feel like, probably for Welcome to the Fishbowl, because they told me there was like a 60-person crew.
Yeah, it was a big
Not
crew.
Everyone was there all the time, but I guess on some of these big commercials with like LeBron or whatever it is that she works on, it's like she's just focused on sweat. Yeah. So
but it's great.
Yeah. And I'm with you on that. Yeah. Like, even just making someone kind of sweaty, like, adds a whole nother layer to the moment, for sure. I feel like I share this story all the time. One of my favorite makeup looks in film is in A Star Is Born. With I just feel like Bradley Cooper, like, this is going to sound weird, but I feel like you look at him and you can almost smell him. And I find that... Oh, like how drunk he was.
I just think, like, if you've been around that, you see him and you can smell him.
Right.
And so I think of that when I work on a narrative project of how can I have that effect with the audience. Like, if that had an effect on me, it'll have an effect on someone else. And so how can I achieve... looking at a character and smelling them.
No,
just, you know what I mean.
It's totally.
Yeah, I think it's incredible what you can do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, I can't wait to see Welcome to the Fishbowl.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait.
I'm sure they'll have a screening around here at some point.
I know. I can't wait.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, I guess, like, those. I think you kind of covered as far as, like, the elements of what you can do. I mean, and just out of curiosity, I mean, do you get into prosthetics and stuff?
I do, yes. I do prosthetics. Yeah, I started doing that, gosh, it's been, just a year and a half ago. I've been playing around with it, but I had this really great opportunity to work with an LA artist, Allie Bayless. She's phenomenal, a phenomenal beauty and special effects artist. And I got to assist her for this Blumhouse production at the Stanley Hotel last year. It was so cool.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even know it was for Blumhouse. I just thought I was assisting for something. Like, I thought it was like a conference. And then I found out it was Blumhouse. I'm like, this is so cool.
Yeah,
I was
totally.
freaking out. And she taught me, gosh, almost everything I know about special effects in the week I got to work with her. So
that's cool.
Then I took that, and then I started actually getting hired on to do prosthetic application. Because to your point of some sweat specialists, you know, there's sometimes you just come out to apply prosthetics and paint them. And so I've had a couple opportunities with that since too. So it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd also be curious to know like how involved you are as a makeup artist on set. Because, you know, somebody might think, oh, you just, you know, you wake up early, you get all the makeup going.
Yeah.
But I would imagine throughout the day, there's constant, like, are you kind of watching the monitor and like, you know, constantly tweaking things, updating something? Oh, like the makeup's starting to, you know,
Sure.
to not be quite as what it was like when we started the day. Like, let's freshen that up a little bit. Like, can you talk about like working on a film set and kind of some of those little logistical things that would be, you know,
absolutely
part of the day's work?
I think so I'm just going to speak specifically for the film world, not commercial, because it's different. But with film, a huge part of hair and makeup artist jobs is keeping track of continuity. And so kind of like setting the scene of the day, you'll typically start in like on a production like Welcome to the Fishbowl. For example, we had a makeup trailer. And so you start your day in the trailer, you get your talent ready, and there should always be a representative on set when the talent is called to set from hair and makeup. So maybe we still have actors we're getting through the works is what we call it. But one of us will be on set. I love being on set, so I think I'm often the one that they send to set. Some artists are like, absolutely not, I'll be in the trailer. But I'm like, get me out there, I love it.
Yeah.
And then when you're on set, there's Video Village, and I kind of hide typically with, I feel like I'm usually with art department and wardrobe. Wardrobe and hair and makeup are always best friends in, in film. So we have our monitor, and it doesn't always happen, but when we're lucky, we get a monitor. And we take continuity shots for the scenes. If there's any changes in their look, you want to keep track of that. We have a shared album. I'm really getting into it.
Nice,
So reel me in if you need. But we typically have a shared album, and we put on the photo scene 35, day 2, or whatever it is. That doesn't make sense. But anyway.
Are these photos captured during like a makeup test, or just like before the scene starts?
Or during the scene.
Oh, you take a picture, and then if they're, you know, I just did a short film where I was in the edit recently, and the hair kind of shifted.
Yes, I look out for that when I watch movies.
And it's like, but I really want to use this part of take 3 where it shifted.
Yes. So
with
my
the first
job
part
in
of
that
take
moment
1, and,
would have been when they cut. You don't always get this opportunity though, because sometimes you're running behind. There's various reasons, but when they all cut, also befriending your ADs is really helpful in this situation. And then
they'll be like, who is this girl jumping into the scene here?
I always that's like one of the first people that I befriend on a film set, because then I can. On Fishbowl, it was Joey, and I was like, hey, Joey, I need last looks. And then we fly in, and then we reset the hair or the makeup to how it was before to maintain continuity. Yeah. So that's kind of the day. It's a lot of, it's repetitive and also chaotic all at the same time.
No, it's cool. It is important though, because it's like, I mean, we didn't have a makeup person on set. This is just like people getting together to make a show, you know?
So fun.
And so like the girl that was involved just did her own makeup, and you know, the guys just didn't even have makeup on and stuff. But like, I mean, it was an issue, you know, I mean, a little bit, and you kind of just have to accept it in the edit. Sure. I suppose. But no, I agree. I can see why that would be super important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, as far as like your kit, can you talk about that, you know, and any kind of tips and tricks, like what in your mind is like a professional kit build out look like? Oh boy. What are some of those like key things that, you know, that you always are coming back to, and maybe even getting extra sponges or whatever it is like that, you know, that is kind of key to the kit that you have and what you come prepared with? Yeah, that is a great question. It's a little bit hard to answer, but because my kit is massive and it depends on the project, but just kind of a normal project, you just want to have a variety of
skin prep items, foundations, concealers. I guess this answer is speaking specifically to makeup artists here, so they'll know. But you want blushes, you want bronzers, just kind of your basics. And I will say one thing I think is very important is having your set. Typically you have your kit, your full kit, and in a film setting, whether it's a trailer or a designated room, you have your whole kit there. And then you have a consolidated version of that as your set bag. I find the most important thing to be your set bag, because oftentimes when you're filming, you might be far from base camp. Base camp is where the trailer or the makeup room is, and you need to have anything. And so I've found, especially within the last, I would say 8 months, I've really dove into building my set bag. One of the reasons I love working with other artists so much is because you can take things from them. And Macy's an artist up in Montana I work with. She has the best on-set bag I've ever seen. And so I've just copied it to a T. Yeah. Because if anything were to come up, I have it. I have everything. Sure. So I think that is the most important thing to build out is your set bag.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if you got to sprint back to the
you can't. Yeah, I mean, you're an hour away.
Yeah.
You're screwed, and you don't want to be the person that doesn't have.
Sure, right. Everyone's like, "Oh, we're waiting on."
It's my nightmare.
Spirit gum to fix this nose or whatever.
Wait on hair and makeup. I want to be the hero. Makeup wants to be the hero.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, like, I don't know. Are there any moments on set of problem solving in that regard
Always.
that
Always
really came in clutch with that set bag?
Yeah,
all the time. Yeah,
literally all the time. Gosh, I can't share this because it is in Fishbowl. Let me think of another one. Okay, I worked on a union film that came through town in March and April, and we had, without disclosing much of the story, the director wanted a cut, and this was a lesson for me because in my set bag I didn't have the tools, because I didn't think I would need, in my head at the time I was like, I don't need blood, I don't need this. No, you might. And so I'm texting my department head Mel, and I'm like, 911. So they sent via a pass van our special effects bag for Mel and I to do a scrape last second on set, and that happens all the time. That happened in a commercial actually, which I had learned from this movie, so now I carry all of these items in my set bag. But the director was like, "Hey, can I get a scrape on this knee?" And thankfully, I had what I needed.
Requested it right then.
Just then, yeah. We didn't plan this ahead of time at all.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. Hey, by the way, do you have blood? I'm like, this is a health insurance commercial, but sure.
Yeah.
I do.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So you never know.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. Cool. Well, as far as like, I guess if you were going to compare, is there a difference between like kind of everyday makeup versus film makeup? Or I'd also, just from a guy's perspective too, I mean, like what goes on, like just like baseline, for everyone.
Sure.
If it's like no real monster makeup, but it's just people in a scene, is there kind of a base approach to everyone?
Yes, definitely. And it does depend, I guess, on the type of project that you're working on. And like what you do in a Western is very different than what you do in a period piece. But essentially, the skin prep is key. And I would call it facial balancing. So just kind of evening out skin tones, covering up imperfections. I do, especially on male talent, I the amount of eyebrows I'm trimming is like,
oh wow,
yeah, it's a lot of eyebrows.
Sure. Bald guys too. I'm bald, so like I've showed up to like little interviews where like, we're
anti-shine.
Yeah, we don't have a makeup artist. We don't have anyone to powder your head here. We gotta, please put a hat on. Yeah,
yeah. It's a lot of, and in the commercial realm and in interview settings, it's more of anti-shine. I would say in narrative, I like to see real skin, and it's we're telling a story, and I like things to be realistic. And so if I have the creative, if I'm in charge, I like to do less of anti-shine and more of just how does the skin look good on camera, but it's still real skin. Like no makeup is very common in narrative.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it? I just watched the new Superman movie.
Yeah, I haven't
And
seen it yet.
it was pretty good.
I've heard it was great.
A lot of people like really loved it.
I know.
I thought it was good. It was good.
I know,
don't
unpopular opinion. I'm not a super big superhero.
I'm not either. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's honestly probably the one. I haven't watched another superhero movie in a really long time, but
Yeah.
everyone kept talking about how
Yeah.
great it was. But the guy, something Holt, I think, but like the guy who played Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
His head was like pristine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, how did
can I?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Should I be like powdering the back of my head so
No,
that it just looks perfect like that? But anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Do you have any advice for maybe people starting out as a makeup artist? And again, I think networking is so important.
Yeah,
So it's like, do you have any tips on that front as far as like, I don't know, sending like, is it a portfolio that you would, let's say you would send it to like, an ad agency to say, hey, like I'm a makeup artist if you ever need anything for a commercial shoot, or like approaching production companies, directors, but in general too. So, and I'm sorry, I'm asking a million questions.
You're like, she has ADHD.
So just advice for people wanting to get into being a makeup artist, as well as like networking tips and stuff.
Yeah, I think I think I have a couple answers. I think if somebody's starting out and they want to get into film for makeup, I think a couple pieces of advice would be to, I guess, getting to know producers. Producers are the ones who are going to hire you. And I didn't know that starting out, which sounds kind of silly, but I just didn't know. And so you want to get to know producers in town, directors as well. I think the biggest thing is being really kind to everybody on set. I know this seems weird, but I just think this is solid advice. You want to be somebody that's good to work with, and people like to hire people they like to work with. And so I think getting to know everybody on set, if I could tell myself this when I first started, I would. I remember when I very first started, I was kind of shy on set, and because I was overwhelmed by what's happening.
Yeah, sure.
And so now I make a point to get to know every department, grips, electric, PAs, my angels. I like to get to know everybody because, one, you don't know if they're going to need a makeup artist. I just got referred for a job from an AC in town, and those worlds don't really correlate, but you just never know. And so, yeah, just really being genuine about it, but getting to know people and being kind and helpful on set too. Also, you don't want to be the problem, you want to have a solution always. So that's something. As far as networking goes, I mean, I don't know if I'm an expert in this realm, but I know for me, what's really worked is utilizing social media, getting to know other artists in town, especially just befriending other artists. We have such a great scene in Denver, and we have so much talent in every department, but especially in hair and makeup I can speak on. We have so much talent here. So getting to know other hair and makeup artists, you don't know when you're going to need something. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. I just texted one of my girlfriends this morning who's a hair and makeup artist, and I was like, how do I do this? Help. So you never know. Also, you might refer each other. And going to networking events, I would love to see more of those here, but there are some that happen every few months, I would say. The Tyler, he's a granite gaffer.
Yep.
He does events. I go to those all the time.
Yeah, I think maybe once a quarter.
Yeah, I think it does once a quarter.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
those are great. I'd love to see more of that. But
I agree, yeah.
I think it's important to get to know people in the scene and then continue to post on social media. I'm certainly not an expert, but I believe that if you're posting that you're busy, people see that you're busy, and you seem, people want to bring you on because you're busy.
Yeah.
So
Seems like you do a great job with it.
I try. It's exhausting, and I wish social media were more fun, but I try to have fun with it, but I do think it works, and I love to share what I do. So yeah, did that answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, for sure.
Did we keep on track?
For sure. No, that's all good stuff.
Great.
Well, as far as the Colorado film scene, and are you from here?
I should claim it, but I'm originally from Tennessee, but I have been here my entire life.
Okay.
But natives will be like, you're not a native. I'm like, I was here when I was like 3. So.
Oh, okay. So
anyway.
Yes,
I am.
been here your whole life, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, as far as the film scene here, I don't know. What's kind of your take from a makeup artist perspective? It's like, because a lot of the shoots you do are out of state. It seems like, from what I can tell on social media. So it's like, can someone build a career here as a makeup artist, or do that, and kind of how do you see the scene as it exists now. And as far as like networking events, I agree. I wish
Yeah.
there was more kind of monthly meetings and
Sure.
stuff like that for people to kind of get together and, you know, maybe even give like updates about films coming into town
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. I'm from Cleveland, and
Okay.
they're really on top of that. And they do
Yeah.
have a really good, I guess, tax incentive there. But they're doing monthly mixers, and you know, their newsletter is pretty jam-packed with events that are always
Sure.
going on for film stuff. And
I would love to see more of that here. Absolutely.
yeah, totally. Yeah. But in general, for the scene, you know, yeah, what is your take on the scene around here specifically? And, you know, can someone build a career here, or do they kind of need to be like at the ready to go to New Mexico or Montana or whatever it is, New York, LA, to fill in the blanks, so to speak?
I think my answer is yes, you can make a career with this. However, it's certainly not easy. It's a very competitive. Colorado has a very competitive market, and I think part of that is because we need more productions here. I would
Right.
love to see more projects, or I would also love to see, you know, larger budget projects that can bring on an actual team of hair and makeup artists. There's more often than not, you're one person, you know, you're doing both hair, makeup, and sometimes special effects. And in a perfect world, that would be, you know, I would be just makeup, there would be just hair, there would be just special effects.
Right.
So I would love to see that. But yes, you can. I do think that you need to often supplement that, because I think we just need more productions here. So there are gaps, and how I've chosen to fill the gaps is by traveling and making myself available to work in other markets. Part of that is my own choice, though. I've always wanted to travel for work, and I love working with other crews as well. I love working with just new environments and new people. So that is partially intentional, not just because I need to fill the gaps, but yeah, I think I'm doing a ring around here, but
Okay. Well, it's a weird scene, you know?
It's a weird scene.
That's why I started this podcast. This is like my little investigation into it. Because and I've talked to a lot of people that like move here, and they're like,
what do I do?
they're almost like, where is everyone?
No, I've been
You know?
having this conversation all summer, and I'm very fortunate that I have been busy, and that is not lost on me. I'm very, very fortunate for that, and I do work hard to get there. But I would love to. I keep having this conversation of, you know, I used to get all these calls, but now I'm not getting the calls anymore, and you know, I don't know where we solve that, you know, whether it's better incentives, I don't know. But yeah, I think the answer is yes, of course, because I think I've made that happen for myself. So it is possible, but it's not always consistent. You know, I just got a gig today for tomorrow, and that's part of it, is just being available to take on a gig tomorrow. So
Sure.
it's not for everyone, certainly. So I don't know, does that answer?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I'm always just curious about that,
Yeah.
from like, especially if it's in a very specific kind of role too,
Sure.
like something like a makeup artist. It's like, you know, is there enough work to kind of live and stay in Colorado?
Yeah,
if that's what your
we need
profession is.
more. We need more. And we have so much talent here. We have truly some of the most incredible hair and makeup artists that I know and I've worked with. And, you know, I want us all to be busy.
Yeah, totally. Which the next episode I have is getting into this like town hall event. I don't know if you've heard about. They had one last November, I think it was.
Yeah,
and,
I remember that. Yeah.
and it's very much like they did this Colorado film study that identified like people are siloed. There isn't enough infrastructure, the tax incentive, you know, so they are like putting together a team through like the CFEA and
Sure.
whatnot to kind of, how do we, you know, come together? How do we address this? And I think they are going to make it like, I don't know if it'll be a quarterly event or just once a year in conjunction with a couple other events that like the CFEA does. But, you know, they are getting together to try to like, how do we address this and stuff?
Yeah,
and,
that's great.
Yeah. And I've also found there's a lot of really weird history here with
Yeah.
like Hollywood stuff. And like, you know, I don't know, not to get into too much, but
Sure.
a lot of like discriminatory stuff
Yes.
where it's like, when I hear about it, and I've been here 6-ish years now. So it's like, I'm always shocked, like, holy shit, okay, that sucks. And, is a little gnarly. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that's usually my reaction. I don't mean to laugh, but it's
No,
like, it's just
yeah.
like, oh shit, like, wow, like,
Yeah.
it is unfortunate
I know.
that there's that history here because like, yeah, I mean, like, I guess there used to be a lot of television and movies that got shot here, a lot of Westerns and stuff.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, we're losing a lot of bids to my understanding, we're losing a lot of bids to Arizona. And
yeah,
I mean, yeah, we have the resources, we have the crew, we have the talent, we have it.
yeah, for sure.
So come on.
No, I agree.
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
And who wouldn't want to come here to film
No, truly,
film
it's-
something? It's a great
Well,
location.
even like our weather, I'm like, even our weather, like I'm not a locations person, but like we have pretty top tier weather in Colorado, and
Yeah.
winter isn't crazy. It's very sunny. Come to Colorado.
Yeah, totally,
Please.
totally. And we'll see Sundance isn't a production company though. So
Right.
it's like, it's just another, Telluride maybe in a way or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know, maybe it'll give some access to being able to make connections with
Sure.
people that could bring larger productions here. And
And discover what would be offered in Colorado too. You never
Sure,
know.
sure.
That would be my hope for sure.
yeah, and I think that at least from what I've heard from some of the folks in the film office, that's sort of gotten some of the, government people to at least take a little more notice. And
That's
I think
great.
they did reform the tax incentive a
did.
little bit. It's
Yeah.
like not as good as other states, but
Progress.
it's something,
Yeah,
And I know
absolutely.
Welcome to the Fishbowl, they were able to take advantage of
Yeah.
it. So hopefully it's at least moving in the right direction, and things like Sundance just kind of
Yeah.
putting a spotlight for film. We'll see what that does for
Yeah.
for people making stuff here.
Yeah,
But
truly.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's an
Yeah.
interesting environment though, for sure.
It is.
But well, I did want to hit on, you mentioned your social channels. Do you have I don't know if you've got website, social media. How would people follow your work? And, if they needed to hire you as a makeup artist, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, my Instagram, it's Bex Donnelly _
Yes, I think so. Yeah,
Oh God, I'm like, do you know?
I do. Yeah, that's it. And I'll link it in the description.
Great.
Yep.
I should maybe learn that. And then my website is beckydonnellymakeup.com.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, as far as hiring me for your projects, I mean, I have various channels, but email is always great, which there's links to that on all of my platforms, or DMing or shooting me a text message too. So a lot of channels.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I did want to end on, because we're getting into Halloween
Yes.
and whatnot. Do you have any tips for people doing their Halloween makeup?
Yeah.
And I actually get really into doing crazy makeup. Last year, I just was Mr. Clean because I'm
Okay.
bald, and I said like a funny, easy
great,
one.
actually.
And I got like a little hoop earring and
Yes,
stuff
love.
and white everything.
What are you going to be this year?
So
Can
my
you-
wife
are
and
you
I are
saying?
going to be really scary clowns.
Oh, fun.
But I'm actually gonna I have like a crazy wig that is like, kind of a balding wig.
Okay.
And then I got some like the sclera
Oh,
contacts.
you're committed.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome when it and I was a zombie one year and I had a full eye sclera contact that was like
Yeah.
a dead eye.
It's
And then
so
I had
cool.
made brains coming out, and like, I got those like tattoos that you
Yeah.
can do the veins and stuff. And those are really
the
awesome.
tattoo transfers are incredible.
Yeah,
I use those
yeah.
all the time.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
all
Yeah.
the time.
Those veins I love.
Yeah.
Like they really add an element to it.
Totally.
And, I was walking down the street where people were like, "Oh,
That's
Jesus,"
awesome.
you know.
You
I really
coming
like
for my
to.
job.
I don't know. I like it to. It is fun though, like to try
Yeah.
to make something that is like genuinely scary.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm basically just doing like this old clown, and then like the front of my face is going to be ripped
Cool.
off.
Are you
With,
using
like, teeth and
latex
stuff.
or are you using?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So I need to like build like a skin
Yeah.
smile that looks like it was just torn off.
Yeah, cool.
And then my wife got into having these all sharp teeth.
Oh my gosh.
So we
that's
both
cool.
kind of have done that,
Awesome.
and then we're like weathering our outfits and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like this really creepy like black and white clown.
Okay.
And then I'm more of like
cool.
an old like color,
Yeah.
multicolor or primary color
Sure.
clown, Actually, I was gonna look up some like tutorials because I would love to do like how do I make like what would be a clown makeup like that, kind of like Heath Ledger weathered. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Where it looks like, I guess weathered. I don't know, like Maybe I just like put it on and then just take a towel and wipe it or something.
Yeah, I was
don't
going to
know.
say that might be the easiest thing, or like a sponge.
Okay.
And then maybe using like an oil base. It depends on the kind of makeup that you're using to paint, but maybe like an
Okay.
oil base to kind of separate it. That's probably what I would immediately think of. Just like a little sponge and just kind of like.
Oh, and like
Just to hit the microphone.
and just like kind of,
like-
but start with it being on light and then fill it in.
Yeah, that's what I
And
would
just
do.
leave it a little lighter
Yeah.
on certain areas to make it kind of look weathered.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
and Egyptian Magic is really great.
I feel like I've seen that brand at like, disguises and stuff.
Yeah, it's a moisturizer. It's what I use for sweat.
Oh, okay.
But you can use it for all sorts of things, but it can kind of give it that just kind of like gritty, shiny look. That
Sure.
Gritty and shiny are two different things, but gritty and shiny kind of look.
Okay.
So that could be cool too. Tips and tricks. Oh gosh. I mean, I don't know if everyone is as committed to Halloween as you and your wife are. I'm trying to think. You know what I don't want to see? I don't
Sure.
want to see skulls. I'm kind of tired of the skulls.
Okay.
I want to see something new. I want to see new. One of my favorite, just classic and super easy, achievable, if you're not like a big makeup guru, you're watching, YouTube videos. Like if you're just you just need something but kind of cool, is that iconic scene in Pulp Fiction where she ODs.
Oh, sure.
I love that look.
Sure.
I think it's fun and it's just easy. Like all you need is there's different types of blood that you can utilize, but like a drying blood, and I'm sure they have something at Party City or on Amazon or something like that if you don't want to spend a chunk. Or Makeup Mania. And have you heard of Makeup Mania?
No. Is
Okay.
that on like a website or is it
No,
a store
it's
around
a store,
here?
yeah.
Ooh,
They-
really?
Yeah.
Where is that?
It's on, if she hasn't moved yet, I don't know if she's moved yet, but she's located on Colorado Boulevard. She is phenomenal, the owner, and limited hours, so check before. I believe it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday that
Okay.
she's open. Don't quote me on this.
And I'll link that one in the
Okay, link
description
it,
too.
yeah.
When I go through this, I always like
Perfect.
add the references and
Great.
stuff.
But I just love that it's local too. And she carries a lot of special effects products and
Okay.
some very, very high quality that I would use on a feature film. So I've stocked up for another movie I worked on, Uck. I wanted to plug that one too.
Okay.
It was a horror film that came through town. I got a majority of my products from Makeup Mania. But anyway, you could go there and get probably anything that you would need to make a cool look.
I'm excited. I didn't know that one was around.
Awesome. I know we need more of those too in
Sure,
my
sure.
perfect world, but I'm happy we have it. And she's great on Instagram too. I've just DM'd her like, hey, what would you do in this situation? I have no shame. I will ask anybody almost anything, but I've asked her for tips and tricks, and she's just shot me a DM and linked something like, hey, if you want to come pick it up. And she's awesome. So yeah, Makeup Mania. And yeah, I think roving back to just like a drying blood or something like that. And I don't know. I think bloody looks are kind of fun for Halloween. So
What about you? I mean, like, what do you typically do?
do you want to?
Do you go more funny or more horror? Or
I think I
somewhere in
opt for
between?
funny. This is boring, but I have very sensitive skin, and so a lot of these special effect type makeup, it just does not work on me, unfortunately. So this year I'm going to be Lord Farquaad.
That's awesome. Yes.
Is it because of the hair?
I was going to
Maybe.
say you've got the hair to pull
Yeah.
that off. That'll be really funny.
It's pretty solid. So
Yeah, cool.
that'll be my costume this year.
Are you sourcing that outfit, or like are you putting it together? Or
Oh, I sourced it. I
Okay,
didn't.
yeah. That'd be a hard one to create. Yeah.
I think, and for a costumer in town, that'd be so fun. But yeah, I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
just spent the kind of obscene amount of money on this costume.
Nice.
It'll be great. It'll
That's
be good.
awesome. Perfect.
Yeah.
That'll be really funny.
It'll
Hell
be
yeah,
funny,
Yeah.
yeah.
You want people, especially with the funny ones, to be like, oh, yes, like
solid costume.
yeah. I had a few people last year were like, Mr. Clean. Oh shit. Like,
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I know
It's
exactly
so
who you
simple,
are.
but it
Yeah.
just like it really nails it. So that's
Sure.
my goal with Halloween.
Awesome. Hell yeah. Well, thank you for doing
Yeah,
this. I really
thanks for having
appreciate
me,
it. I could
truly.
geek out about Halloween and,
Love it.
and movie makeup all day long.
same.
I'm obsessed with it.
Let's make
But,
this
yeah.
episode your longest. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I could keep going for sure. Yeah. My brother worked at a haunted house when I was growing up as a
Cool.
makeup artist. So we would,
So fun.
he would do all kinds of crazy stuff on me, and I've been shaving my head since like 8th grade, so I'm like the perfect mannequin.
You
to
are,
do,
I know.
You know, like makeup stuff.
Yeah,
too.
creature work. Yeah,
sure.
Maybe that's a side hustle.
But yeah, I'm super into it. So thank you for doing this. I
absolutely.
really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, this is Set Talks, the podcast that helps you navigate and connect with the Colorado film scene. Thanks for tuning in.